remember my last electronic vehicle charging video that I did. Well, I was talking about TPG Pace Beneficial Financial Corp, that SPAC that's taken like the golden unicorn in all of Europe, right? Taking all of them to the stock market. Well, they're starting to get U.S. exposure. We knew that, but here's the thing: is they were kind of in limbo about the actual financials, and they still kind of are. But here's the deal: on the last SEC filing, it basically said we could not consummate the business. So be aware of that, basically. So I was like, ugh, people sold off even more. But we just got a 425 SEC filing today. It said TPG will merge and into a new SPAC, with new SPAC surviving wholly under blah, blah, blah. It's a complicated deal in the background, but most SPACs are, if you really read these. It goes on to say, though, below that, kind of the thing like, if they still don't supply the financials, we can still try to mess with the contract a little bit. Honestly, that's kind of typical, though. I think that's pretty much in everything. If the financials they told us about aren't legit, we should probably be able to change the contract. I don't know. Realize with any SPAC, though, it's not 110% until the ticker actually changes regardless. Them coming out and putting this out, though, is basically, I think, them saying, hey, it's going to happen. We still need more time. They even pushed it all the way out from June 8th, though, to August 6th of this year, which is kind of fine by me. You can still get this for, I don't know, $12 or $13. I still think it's a screaming buy. Great, buy it, okay? But just be aware of all that news right there. This was kind of interesting. I've never heard of this, but Daymark. You heard of Daymark? Daymark Spiritus. It's an electronic vehicle company. They'll be the world's first electric car to mine cryptocurrency from Dogecoin to Bitcoin while it's parked. Some of this is going to be through its like solar panels on the roof and stuff. Daymark Avernine, which is being engineered as the most advanced lineup of LEVs on the market, has surpassed $350 million in pre-orders in less than 60 days. So they actually have a really cool looking car. However, at a first glance, I'm sure you could guess, I was just laughing. They got like scooters, every kind of mobility, whatever you got. Honestly, I saw they have like a side-by-side four-wheeler thing. It kind of looked cheesy, all right? And they actually had this chick driving it, but it looked like it was going really slow. I don't know if they just don't know what they're doing as far as filming, or that thing is just really slow and lame. But it was like $9,000 too. I don't know, man. I just wasn't really sold up. But they have this like trike thing that's actually really rad looking. It's hard to see right here, but it looks like it's all like carbon fibered out, and it's got two exhausts on the back. I don't know why, because it'd be electric. Regardless, though, it looks pretty cool. I wouldn't mind driving any of these. I'm just not going to overpay. But here's this rad car. It kind of looks Bugatti Veyron a little bit. It just does. Pretty interesting. But here's the electronic side in it. So it's actually got a separate Bitcoin, not Bitcoin, but a crypto miner. I can't remember the name of it. We're talking about it in our group, but it's actually got that crypto miner built into it also. And I was thinking, how insane would that be if this thing gets to a point where it basically pays for itself to own it? So say your payment, is, let's say $1,000 a month on this thing. What if it could print you $1,000 worth of crypto a month? So you're at a wash, so you're basically getting it for free? I can't wait to see the actual real numbers on this thing. Can other people institute this? Sure, but the bigger corporate you go, the harder it is to get anything done. So these guys were the first one to do it. I have no idea who they are, never heard of them. Have you heard of that? Have you heard of that brand? I certainly haven't. I want to look up more of it. Go check out these little scooters and all that if you want. I don't know. I don't even know if they have a stock. But it's something to pay attention to as far as like crypto and stuff too. Or maybe they will get SPAC'd. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. 7-Eleven. Y'all ever been to 7-Eleven getting Slurpees? So they came out today and they were bragging how they're installing all these electronic vehicle chargers. DC, fast. They said cool though. Cooling. And I instantly thought of that new electronic vehicle charging SPAC, right? Because they have the patent on the liquid cooling. And so I was like, okay, so I read the whole article. 7-Eleven did not name drop the company that's making them for them, but as you can tell, 7-Eleven slapped a sticker on it, like they should, right? And that's what they're doing. However, with more investigativeness that I did, it's totally a rip. It's totally this charge point charger right here that we have on the right-hand side. It's even got like the available sign. I mean, it looks exactly like it. It's got to be that. But here's the deal. Is it Trillium or Trillium? I can't even remember the name. Trillium, the SPAC, the decarbonization 2. I just did a video on it. Look it up. Tell me down in the comments what it's called. But anyways, looking up ChargePoint, I was like, okay, if it's got liquid cooling, does ChargePoint have liquid cooling? Which means, and this was my speculation in the beginning, it's tritium, by the way. Is ChargePoint just using tritium's chargers and then putting the ChargePoint sticker on them and then reselling it even to 7-Eleven? Why not? Right? Like, there's no way ChargePoint makes every single little thing inside the charger. But that's one of the reasons I like this tritium company chargers, because they seem more of like a guts play, the internal side of it. They have some branded stuff that's out there, but that's what makes sense to me, because if they have the patent on it, you can Google it right here. ChargePoint Express Plus, which is their DC fast charger, has minimal moving parts and liquid cooling technology to increase reliability and minimize ongoing field maintenance, blah blah. Basically straight up tritium's mouth and straight up tritium's pocket and patents, because remember, tritium has the patent on that. So that's the question I really want to get 100% figured out. It looks like to me I figured it out, but it's not 110%. Are they getting it from tritium? Then we can own the whole mode, right? Anyways, here's another article from Tritium. They equips its Ionity sites with liquid cooled cables in Denmark. So they're in Denmark. German colleagues was telling them, that's neat. Why am I talking about that? Because I didn't realize they had liquid cooled cables too. I know you can do like liquid cooled computers, and that's what I thought it was. You had liquid cool that went to like the processors and stuff inside the box. But dude, they're like wrapping liquid cooling around the actual cable itself, because I'm sure those cables can get real hot running the 350 kilowatts plus through them, 800 volts or whatever, 1600 volts. That's crazy, but that's also cool. Here's another thing from Tritium. They're helping the city of Pasadena, California, unveil its largest public DC fast charging location in the United States on the rooftop of the Mariningo charging lot. They got 44 of their charging stations. Sweet. So they are using their brand in some places, but it's more of a guts play, but we get it all. Does anyone know any more connections with ChargePoint in them? Let me know. Something interesting today, IPOE, Mr. Chamath Palihapitiya. Not sure if y'all noticed, but IPOE changed to SOFI today and up 12% on the day. D-SPAC getting more love, remember? I'm saying that the D-SPAC is where you can start seeing the trend flip for SPACs. Once they're not SPACs anymore, they ticker change. They're like all the decent ones and better ones are ripping. Not ripping, but 12%, whatever, dude. Who wouldn't take 12% in a couple day trade? What if you could just start doing that? Just buying the cool ones the day before they turn to something else, or maybe 3 or 5 days before that. Shtick. Y'all got a shtick? Remember BarkBox? That should de-SPAC tomorrow. Are y'all already in? Shtick. I don't know. I guess there was a bad news article. A dog chewed one of their toys and it got hurt, choked on it or something. That's not good. Rest in peace, the doggy. But I guess that was negative press on that. So there's that shtick about shtick. But I don't know. I still see this one doing all right. I was still waiting to see if they were going to make their own branded food. I still can never get a solid answer from them. Does anyone know the answer to that question? I wasn't ever able to find it. Y'all ever heard of this? I haven't. This one is called ERJ, or Halo EVTOLs. Okay, flying helicopter thingies, right? With the little electronic. Halo becomes the first global provider for private urban air mobility with 200 EVTOL aircraft ordered from Embraer's Eve Urban Air Mobility Solutions. a brain mouthful. We got another ticker for an EVTOL that's not a SPAC. And I'm even confused because they literally just barf out like 5 tickers here. Come and read them on my site. But I'm guessing for the US, the one that you want to get is this one, which is the Embraer SA. Okay. But what happened with the price action? Well, it's had a nice incline. I mean, any value bro would look at this and be like, that's a very steady. Oh, it's too risky because it doubled, but it's multiplying basically what I'm getting at. It's sitting at like 5, and now it's up to 1385 today. We need to look these up. Ticker on that one is ERJ, but again, I don't know. There's a bunch of other tickers right in there. Come down to my site, check it out. IEA, remember the infrastructure, big infrastructure ESG windmill play in the United States, America? Well, there's one kind of like it called Orbital Energy Group Inc., which is, I don't think was ever a SPAC. IEA was, not anymore. But regardless, we got something kind of in that playing field. Look at this face ripper today, though. So they went up like 74%. Is what I saw. I think the highest day is 74% up. End of the day, I was looking at 68.45% up. Fantastic. From this press release alone, Orbital Energy Group Inc.'s recently acquired subsidiary Gibson Technical Services reaches agreement with TEC on 700 miles of engineering and construction project along central Mississippi. This is great, right? This is kind of, I think we're merging that growth and value thing here, which is awesome. That's why I love these kind of plays. But this thing ripped faces. Who surfed that today? What are you doing? You start to take profits or out? You're just gonna keep surfing it. This gave me hope for IEA though. You know, I actually didn't look at IEA today, but this shows me people like the field. All right, why not? Growth, volume, and ARK. Let's talk about growth stocks. Let's talk about ARKK. Miss Cathie Woods is taking the beating for the whole industry, dude. The stock is doing exactly what we thought. It's going to have pressure right around, what is it, like $111-ish? You know, right around there? Yeah, 111-ish. Well, here's the deal. We've got like this, 45-degree angle going down, right? So we need to break on top of it, come back down, reject, and zip right back up. It didn't really do that. It's kind of been playing around with it in little micro bits maybe, but there's not enough steam there. First of all, what I liked seeing was this huge amount of volume. Okay, and this is just from, let's say, November of last year back here. Look how small the volume is. This started going down, right around here, around beginning of February with most of the big, growthy stuff. Look at the spike of volume, but look how high the volume still is, even though it's so low, man. It's like 3x what it was all last year, and last year it was rallying. Remember, I don't know where this started last year, but it was multiplying like crazy last year. So we've got all this crazy huge volume down here. When this thing breaks, it's gonna break faces, bro. Not only that, we can call this the golden Hail Mary unicorn skittle lover. All right, we're gonna call it that. When you have moving averages of a far time frame mixed with a real small, big, long time frame, and they do a crisscross, put the pants on a little backwards there, that usually means trend reversal in a major way. So if you look here, we had this big old red mark. This is going to be like the 20-day moving average. All right. And then down here we have this purple one, the plum crazy. This is the 200-day moving average. Look what happened. These crossed, dude. That means we're getting that consolidation. We're getting tight. When stuff gets tight like that, the averages, and then you see the volume just huge in the past couple months. Way over where it was multiplying. When this thing breaks, it's gonna break hard. We need to pay attention to this, not just because of the ticker, but what's in it and who she's being clutched and used for, the excuse for retail to get into the growth stuff that's sketchy and SPACs, all that. Watch this. This will be used and can be used leading indicator for big growth. I love that chart right there, though. watch it. We need to break that. You know, let's say if we can get above like 115, I'm guessing, or like, you know, 120, it should be pretty much bold case since then. All right, so we got the QQQ versus ARK. Always interesting because big tech, right? Let's talk about big tech stock, QQQ. Remember we talked about the jaws, you know, the alligator's gonna snap them lips down eventually, right? It's gonna happen, dude. Look, ARK is the orange here, the yellow. QQQ's the green. I think QQQ's gonna breathe a little bit, maybe come down a little bit with the rest of the big future stuff. But again, look how far away from it. So ARK is a better picker than QQQ on paper, right? Via math. Okay. So technically ARK, if everything was based off of valuations, should be higher than QQQ. Don't you think these might snap together at some point? I don't know. You let me know. This is pretty interesting. Pretty interesting here. So Chase credit cards. Y'all have a credit card? This is aggregate spending index. We have blown past aggregate spending index past before last year. I don't know how I feel about that. You know, it's good to see economies kind of moving and stuff. I don't know. I think you've got some panic in this chart right here. When you see spikes up like this, it seems kind of panicky to me, you know. And I kind of think that's where we're getting. You know, people are still so confident in their government and their jobs, I guess, that they're willing to bet on them with their own life through credit cards. I don't think this is just buying soda stuff. And if it is, why are you buying a soda on a credit card? See what I'm saying? There you go. More macro. The United States and the Eurozone. I try to really bring that up and make sure y'all know that it's not just the United States that's been printing money. Don't think the United States is going to fall. It's been being very careless. United States and the Eurozone, both sides of the pond, their house price index, let's just use a number, it's been crazy. 144 to 120, so let's say, 20-30% higher than it was in 2007, 2008 housing crash, before the housing crash. You know, the US house pricing index in like 2007, 2008 was like 40% higher than Europe. Now they're like almost exactly the same. So if you think what's going on right now in the whole macro world is all the United States, look how close we've been surfing with Europe here. Does this look like just from a chart, does this look like a good time to buy a house? Or maybe should you buy after this thing rolls over, like when it goes down like this? I'll let you figure that out. Y'all ever heard about the gamma stuff, the gamma shakes? Time to short the gammas. I don't want to get too much into this. There's a whole other video here, but essentially what this is saying is that the big future stuff, right? Like let's talk about SPY. Okay, I've been talking about SPY should by all means roll over. Basically, you have like call and short contracts. It's basically finally rolling over to the short stuff. So more people can be entering more short positions, I guess is the easiest way to say it. That's what I'm talking about, right? I think a lot of these are at the tipping point. I have all the numbers, everything to back it up, every chart, everything adds up to what I'm saying. It's where I get it from charts. QQQ isn't there yet. So QQQ, the tech still could rip for many, many macro reasons, but SPY definitely has rolled over. Keep that in mind. Mall traffic is picking up. Is that from people using credit cards? Busy store checks suggest May week 4 traffic improved from the negative 48.2% month to date 2-year stack result. MS Research store traffic during our checks ahead on the Memorial Day weekend pointed to improvement compared to our April week 4 and May week 2 visits. Inventory levels across all the malls remaining low and appeared depleted in a few stores, which suggests strong demand of potentially concentrated supply chains, constrained supply chains. We observe the longest register line counts at young adult retailers, of course, where shoppers seem the most willing to pay full price, probably with a credit card, narrow and or non-existent category promotions. What does that mean? People don't care about price anymore. They gonna get exactly what they want. Thank God though. I love people knowing exactly what they want. If you can figure out, that's the one thing I actually forgot about my first video. I don't know, a couple weeks ago where I was basically giving you like 5 steps to succeed or something like that. I forgot one of the most important steps, and step number 1, get a goal. Figure out what you want. You're not gonna really bust your booty until you figure out what you want. You got to have an end goal. Where do you want to get? At least people are figuring out what they want. I actually enjoyed hearing that, but it still just seems kind of weird because I know a lot of the people that are shopping at these younger adult retailers are not ones that have real stable jobs, and are probably a lot of the ones who got like the free U.S. money or macro money, across the world. I don't know. Could always dig into that deeper. Interesting though. K-Web, basically, what are we talking about there? We talked about that like last week when we were showing this chart with QQQ. We got Asia money, Asia Tech. Well, there's one called CQQQ, which I think is just basically China QQQ. It's still completely separated from QQQ. So I've been saying that the Asian markets are beaten down. This thing, the jaws are probably going to snap together. The rubber band's going to snap, pop. It started to happen. Right when I was saying there, look at it's going up. So what's going on? QQQ is still kind of hitting the resistancy area. Like I said, we still have some of the gamma stuff where it could start rolling over a little bit soon, but it's still big tech, dude. You can't mess with big tech. Not nowadays. It ain't gonna happen. So what am I getting at? Like the K-Web, KWB, and CQQQ are probably going to still rocking it up, dude. How can you play this? If you have time and the allocation and risk level tolerance and your port, swing this for a couple days or something. Just on this, I think the best way to play it, charts for sure, watch the QQQ and the CQQ, because if the QQQ will still be leading indicator through this, but as long as QQQ at least kind of stays the same, I think the CQQ and the K-Web are still going to be trying to keep back up. All right? So watch the volume though too. Just pay attention to the volume. Figure out the volume. Chart the volume. If you see volume going down and then it starts to consolidate, maybe it lifts up a little bit, might be a decent time to take a look at it. But always look at the macro picture with the QQQ also. Regardless, these are coming together. It just is what it is. Stay tight, y'all. We're going to see you out there tomorrow. Take care.